How do internet? A very quick one here. We're into the next round. This is part 2 of this episode, and due to a little bit of a technical error, mainly user error, we've only got 5 minutes left. We had 8 minutes to draw and find things out. However, someone didn't hit record, so we are somewhere in what I am presuming to potentially be a valley or possibly a port town. The way these buildings are all kind of coming down, perhaps we're by the sea. There really are very few clues around here of exactly where we are. I've decided we're going to draw ourselves a quick cone, is what I decided before I realised that we weren't recording. Better check we are recording now. We are recording, excellent. And we're going to get to work drawing this lovely little cone. Quite enjoy drawing objects. It is very much a sort of practice of mine. We're just drawing the random objects that people normally wouldn't pay that much attention to. We're going to we've given ourselves our rough base shape, the rough arc of which we're going to play off, and then we're going to start building up. They come up like this, and then we've got a little divot towards the top. So we're going to bring that in roughly like that, round and round, a little hollow hole on the top. And that's starting to look somewhat traffic cone shape. We'll accept that as a starting point for a drawing. Now this one's interesting, this map, because I feel like this is kind of stylized, but I can't think. We've got tin roofs, kind of white and cream buildings, perhaps. Greenbank House. But no idea where necessarily where we are. My gut feeling so far is thinking Cornwall, perhaps down the Cornwall route, somewhere down in that direction, maybe. It's a little bit smaller than that. So we've got 3 minutes left to complete this drawing. So we're gonna slap some pen down quickly, and then if we've got time, we will throw on a bit of colour. Everything pops with a bit of colour. Try and go around that in one line. Really are tight for time this time. Only got myself to blame. That was a very bad line. So there we go. And we're going to grab ourselves. Oh, the top of this is not particularly pleasant. Let's see if we can block the outside of that in and make it. Perhaps we want to make this whole thing a bit shorter. That's a bit more like it. So we'll just do that. Get rid of that. Erase the mistake. Bring this in just a little bit more than that. And just give it a hint around the top there like that. And then we've got 1 minute. We've not made a guess yet. I'm feeling Cornwall. But we could be South Wales. Ooh. I'm going to say Cornwall. Probably then maybe Ilfracombe way, maybe. Down this way. I reckon we're a tiny little village somewhere in here. Or somewhere completely different and I'm way off again. If you've seen part 1, you'll see my guesses this evening. Not that great. Not that great. But that's not what this is about. It's not about being the best. It's not about winning. It's about drawing and enjoying myself. This is where I'll just go back to my reference. Yes, the top is orange. Not that I would have had much choice there had it not have been. So I love the way that this little, I'm working off a little Windsor and Newton palette of paints here, and I really like the way they flow. We're going to need a dark colour. So we'll take a little bit of brown, a little bit of dark blue. Coming down here. Put in this colour for around here. I think, considering we were stuck for time there, due to someone's incompetency, put my hands right up there, of hitting record. Now I was right, we were Cornwall direction, but it must have been a valley. I presumed because it was kind of coming round the. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. So my thinking, which I think was pre-hitting record on this episode, was that this is kind of coming round, and that perhaps the sea was off to the side, perhaps sort of coming down and in this way into an inlet or something. But no, it was a river by the look of it. We were towards the centre. There wasn't even. Which way were we? We were here and we were looking down this way. So we must have just been in a valley with a little stream coming through it or something. But alas, much better than my previous guesses. If you want to see some really how not to play GeoGuessr, hop into part 1, watch that through. Terrible guesses, hundreds of miles off. This one, 55 miles off. We'll accept that, and we're going to move straight on, without further ado, into the next round, where we are in the UK once again. And we have Almond Landscapes, the complete garden solution. 0131. I need to study up my DMD law. Again, 0131, so we must be in that area. But that doesn't help me too much. It's kind of the problem with the UK is you get landed. Well, it's kind of the problem everywhere. You get landed in a housing estate, and it can be difficult. 3-story square concrete buildings. So I'm thinking it might be a bigger. It's definitely going to be a bigger town, perhaps a city, where kind of in the 60s or 70s there was some big building projects going on, and whoever designed these put these up. Do we draw one of these? Do we draw a port cabin? 6 minutes remaining. It's kind of jumping out at me, this bright blue. Scott. I presume that says Scotland. Now. Okay then, so that's going to get us down towards Scotland. I'm thinking we must be in one of the big cities. Just because of the style of these buildings. I feel like they're a little bit unconventional for smaller places, but maybe not. I'm going to pop a pin down in Glasgow. No reasoning behind that. That's right, so 01. So if we're right, for future reference, 0131, Scottish. Will I remember that? Will I be able to draw Portaloo in just under 6 minutes? Well, it's again, we're kind of starting off with shapes. So all a Portaloo really is a big cube. In this case, with a bit of a curved top. So we're going to start off with a big cube. We've got a curved at the top at the front and kind of ridged top going back. How many ridges? 3 ridges. 3 strengthening ridges across that plastic Portaloo top. So there we go. Bring that round this way. We got some little vents coming along here. 4 little vents. And looks like 4 bolts And then we're into some cool kind of what's the word? Geodecimal? No, that doesn't sound right. Geodecimal, that's a thing. Geometric, that's the word I'm looking for. Nice sort of geometric shape here, which will be done, I would imagine, as a method of strengthening these side panels by allowing it a little bit of structure, kind of strengthening it as it goes across. And then we're going to bring up a door that comes up and over this way. Now a beautiful little sign on the door, which I think is going to be just too small to get, I get Scott on there. So that is the clue that I got. It must say, unless it says Scott lock, or it could be something like that. And then what have we got around it? We've got a little tree coming up this way, and a little conifer coming up this way, which is coming down into 3 trunks. Very unusually crafted conifer with bare bottom. Probably done so they could squeeze a car on, I would imagine. And then some little bushes down in this direction. How long have we got left? We've got 3 minutes. That sketch really didn't take me as long as I thought it was gonna. I thought I was gonna be panicking a bit this round, but we're gonna have enough time to go a little bit further. Let's get the bin in. There we go. There's the bin in. It's quite simple. A few lines. A little bag of something here. Hopefully a bag of building waste, but why would that not be in the skip? Hopefully it's nothing to do with the waste from the Portaloo. And then we'll just add in a few little indications of these bricks on the floor. Have a little bit of think about where we might be before we add a bit of colour. If we could get around the other side of this skip, that might tell us something new, but we can't. So yeah, we're thinking Scotland, purely because I can just about make out. Can you guys make out? You can just about make out that it says Scott. L-O something. Either it's cut off, and there is a cross in the background, so most likely it says Scotland. Might not, but just because it says Scotland on there, it doesn't mean it could have come south of the border. We'll see when I get it right or wrong in a minute, I guess. And we're going to add a little dash. Oops. A little dash of blue. Oh, that's a big dash of blue. Let's get a little bit of extra water in there. That was a very big dash of blue. Oops. There we go. That's I'd say saved it, but it's at least reduced it. And then we've got a green bin. So let's grab a bit of green for this bin. And throw a little bit of green on there. And then the ground is kind of a red dark clay. So we're going to try and find ourselves a nice medium. Bit of red, bit of grey, a little bit of brown. Got us a nice approximation of that colour. Just to pop there. And if I've got enough time, we're just going to add some little hints of the pink flowers in this side bed. And 20 seconds to try and find the green. Add a little bit of green. A little bit of green up here. A little bit of green up here. And get a dark green, the coniferiness of it all. And then finally, with our last couple of seconds, just add a little bit of brown. Top there. And so there we've got Our Portaloo, which when I look up, oh, I went for the wrong big city. So my thinking, it was big city, we had those kind of 60s, 70s development style, very sort of modernistic buildings. I went west, I should have gone east. But could easily have been Dundee, Aberdeen, Inverness, somewhere like that. I went Glasgow. Still, 38 miles, closest guess this round. Closest guess this round. And with that, onto our final and last bit of forest. Right, so we're looking north. Don't know if that helps us or not. We're looking off a road towards some new build houses. Possibly new build, or that's definitely a new build. That's potentially a bit older. Okay. So we try and just do a little bit of detection work in the distance here. You can just make out a white topped building. Steeple of some kind. It looks fairly old as well. Oh, a sign that we can't read. That is just temptation itself. And what are we going to draw? Do we draw a tree? Let's try a little bit of a fun experiment. Let's see if we can draw the tree from the top, follow it up. Make it very complicated as we get up. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil here, and it's quite simple. We're going to give ourselves a stump. We then divide off one way, and that way goes all the way off this screen. So we're going to put in a bit of length on that. From there, we're also going to see a little branch coming off this way. And we're going to see this thicker trunk coming off here to the right. This is a method of drawing a tree that I am making up off the top of my head as I draw it. And we're just going to work our way up, working out the divisions. Trying to mimic somewhat the angles that the tree is going at. So I end up with a very strange tree of the angle of the lens. So this kind of comes up this way, and then we've got a kind of a fork with one going straight up and one continuing this way. And this side here goes straight up before it twists back round. A very old wizened tree. And that's going to then split off into two. How far up we get up this tree is going to be interesting to find out. This here has got a 3-limb break coming off it. So this is coming across the front of here. And then it's going to come up this way. And then we're going to split to a Y like that. And here we've got a tiny little... Unfortunately, we've got a tiny little broken branch. And a hanging... No, that's off the tree behind. We're not bothered about the tree behind. We're building up the tree in front. Just add a little bit more grounding to this here. Right, so then we've got that coming up to a little divide. This divide coming off this way and twisting up and round. This divide here going straight up and across this way. So you just kind of twisted and it's turned as it's grown. Like many old trees in thick woodland do. So we had is it a 3 break off here? Is that part of this tree, or is this Y? I think it's part of this tree because your moss is growing up. Yep. So this point here is just after this. We've got a branch coming up this way. It comes up this way, and we see it appear behind here, and then round and up. Up and round this next split, which is actually a little bit earlier than I've got it. So let's move it down a little bit. So this comes up and round this way. Let's follow our other trunk for a little bit. We've got a little I say little, it's quite a big shoot coming up, really. So we're going to make it a bit bigger. We can come back and we can change these things. It's our prerogative as artists to draw what we see or what we want to see. And we got a branch coming off, which is broken. But 3 minutes. Where are we? That is a very good question. Could be anywhere. Could be anywhere. My gut feeling with these old buildings, I'm wondering if maybe we're possibly Nottingham way? Foresty? Kind of a shot in the dark. Could be. Am I thinking Nottingham or am I thinking up towards Durham for some reason? We're going to pop a thing down near Durham. Don't know why. My head's just saying maybe we're up that way. Right, so we've got this. That's where I've gone. That comes around in this way. And then we're up onto this split here where we've got these really gnarled branches coming off there. Another big one, which is reaching right across. And we've also got one of these that's forking off like this. And let's come back and add a little bit more darkness to our main trunks. Because nothing crosses in front of them as such. And this kind of goes off in a straight direction. Before we get a quite violent turn up like that. This curls up and off. This trunk here, we are getting a straight up on that. This fork here is again kind of going up and up. Drawing trees is always fascinating. The amount of kind of detail in a tree when you actually sit and look at one. It's incredible. Just the shape. I mean, we've covered there what the first, probably the first third of the tree, and we're already losing ourselves. So we've come up near Durham. Say north of Durham, because why not? Somewhere up here. I think just give ourselves a little bit of farmland around and the indication of some trees in the distance. Quite a some lumps on the ground as well. Oh, we were down in Epping Forest. We're right in here. So again, following the fantastic guesses I've made all this round, I hope you've had a nice time watching me draw a few different things. This episode we got ourselves a little cone that was rushed because I didn't hit record. We've got a lovely Scottish Portaloo and a tree from Epping Forest. Make sure if you are enjoying the geosketching series that you are subscribed to the channel. There's going to be a few episodes released each week, and if you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see, perhaps as an area of the world on GeoGuessr you'd like me to have a look at, let me know. Even you can build me a challenge on GeoGuessr and send it me, and I'll do your challenge and make some sketches along the way for you. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is where you are, and I'll see you next time.